Many people are aware that there are various creation myths all through the Fertile Crescent and where we get our religions of today. Most people aren't aware of a lot of connectives that can be shown in these. Many people think that each one only had one solo one and not different ones of creation myths. One that had more than one that people aren't usually aware of is in Egypt. In Egypt, a variety of religious traditions existed side by side. In each temple, a priest explained the creation of the world differently. And in some of the nomes, they had separate gods for each area too, much like we think of the Sumerians having. In the temple of Aswan, they believed that the world had been made on a potter's wheel by the ram god Khnum, that we know as Ares, and in turn created mankind on a potter's wheel. According to the priest of Heliopolis, the god Atum created the world out of the primordial waters, and Atum's son, Shu, the god of air and light, then separated heaven, Nut, and the earth, Geb. And that gave us our place to live. The priest in Memphis wrote that the city god Ptah had made everything by speaking its name into being. So that's quite different. And one wonders how they could have had such varied beliefs, especially in something as important as creation, and been a successful society for so long. Well, some of these things go together. I'm sure that you're aware the Greeks had a belief that people were made out of clay and then set up, and in a lot of the movies that we see, they depict this as being chess pawns and pieces that they stand back up and things and get ready to go, and by just speaking it, they get their things that they wanted, needed. So this idea of a ram god or Ares creating someone on a potter's wheel is pretty unique, and it seems to come back from the point that people first started pottery before recorded time. And this idea that they could change this, that they could take clay and dry it out afterwards in a form, and then it became like stone. Make something solid. Make a human, in many cases. According to those priests in Heliopolis, which again is the city of the sun, the god Atum created the world out of the primordial waters. Atum's son, Shu, the god of air and light, the air god, then separated the heaven, Nut, and the earth, leaving the air god in between. A lot of people can't make connections to other religions on that idea, but this is the idea of Marduk, and before Tiamat and Bahamut, where they used the rib cage to separate this same concept in the dome over the earth. Very similar. The priest in Memphis wrote that the god Ptah had made everything by speaking its name into being. And that's kind of important too. For now we can roll back through them and see if we can see anything like that in our biblical story. For we know that at the very beginning of anything, God spoke a word and let there be light, and that started off everything and kicked off the sun, which is Atum. So then again, that form is Atum that started, and it dried up the primordial waters enough for land to show up. Then we have Adam's son, yes, Adam, that's where a lot of this comes into being, had separated the heaven, Nut, and the earth, Geb. We find that in the Bible where he tells you that God's face hovered over the waters, which is a sexual reference, by the way. And then the waters, which dried up and became earth, this is woman, who is Geb, and Nut, who is arched up over her, is the sky. And the naturalness of these two events formed everything. when we look at Ptah had made everything by speaking its name, I often think of the Egyptians where they said, so let it be written, so let it be done, because that shows you the same connotation. But can we find that in the Bible? Well, not so much in the Old Testament, but in the New Testament, they definitely throw it right out front and tell you that in the beginning was the Word. And so you wonder how Egypt, if they had these three things going on that weren't necessarily looking like they were in concert, could have led to the successful civilization. A lot of times I think, well, it must be more about the people than about these beliefs even. It was past that point. But in another way, because in our modern day we have these same type of beliefs in our own creation story. In fact, it's a blend of all of these and a few more, because there's a woman who grows from a rib and eats from a magic tree because a talking snake told her to, and many more. So looking at the Fertile Crescent and all through the area of what was known the known world at the time, we can see connections with people from Marduk in Egypt, from even in our Bible to all three. It's because it all is blent together as one. We'll spend some time showing you differences of that here in upcoming videos. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you haven't done yet, give a like and share this if you would, and give me a subscribe so you can get upcoming videos. Peace.